Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and tonight Fox finally unleashed the pilot episode of The Orville, Seth MacFarlane's long-awaited Star Trek spoof. Although it's not really much of a spoof, as it really treats Star Trek as more of an homage and an inspiration for what is to be considered kind of an entirely new sci-fi universe, and one that does have fans divided. Those new to Star Trek and those old to Star Trek have definitely kind of been up in arms over what to take about this thing. I myself found it to be quite refreshing, pretty damn hysterical, and a good friend of mine even said that this is to him the most Star Trek TV show to come out since the Next Generation, which is exactly the vibe I got while watching it. From the aesthetics, from just the visuals, from the storytelling side of it, from the characters, it felt as like a spiritual sequel to Star Trek The Next Generation, and nowhere near Voyager or the Enterprise or DS9 or none of that stuff, which is one of the reasons why I actually really liked what I saw. But let's go through this here, shall we? So the story centers on Ed Mercer, the captain of the Orville, who got the command after a year of just very horrible behavior with the Planetary Union, showing up late, showing up drunk, not even caring anymore, mostly because in the very first scene of the show, we find out that his wife, Kelly Grayson, actually cheats on him with the blue guy, who I do believe actually ejaculates from his eyeballs. Again, this is Seth MacFarlane, so there's going to be a lot of very odd jokes thrown into the mix that are going to be treated as very straightforward and not slapstick, which is why I feel the humor really works in this show. So as I said, after he finds out his wife's cheating on him, he goes through a year of debauchery, ends up getting this command for a mid-level exploratory vessel called the Orville, and heads off into space with a new crew. And the crew I actually pretty like. You have Scott Grimes as Gordon Malloy, the helmsman, who has a penchant for alcohol and drawing penises on things. You've also got Penny Johnson-Gerald as the psychiatrist Dr. Claire Finn, who is one of the most renowned psychologists in the Planetary Union, who chose this particular assignment simply because she feels that the inexperienced captain is going to need her help. You've also got Alara Katan, the inexperienced security officer, whose species actually gets stronger being in Earth's gravity, which makes her pretty much the strongman of the team, which works up really well in terms of like the tropes and what they're going to play off of that. My favorite, though, actually is Isaac, and Isaac is the AI similar to Data from Star Trek The Next Generation, and the voice of Isaac sounds identical to Brent Spiner from Star Trek The Next Generation. So at first it had me confused, like, wait a minute, did they get Brent Spiner in this thing? Because that's pretty cool, and I'm pretty happy if they did. They didn't, but I'll take it as still, like I said before, it's an homage to Star Trek The Next Generation more than anything else, and that is just fantastic. So once the crew gets assembled and they kind of get the bickering out of the way between Ed and Kelly, who ends up becoming his XO because no one else could take the job and she volunteered for it, you know, to kind of help him out, given she feels bad over what happened a year earlier when she got a little bit of that blue lovin'. And, you know, they bicker back and forth, clearly setting up the will they, won't they for at least 2 to 3 seasons if the show survives that long. And it works. They have good chemistry together. I like both of them. I like Seth MacFarlane. I like Adrian Palacki, and I feel that they will work well together on this show. The only person on the show I feel isn't really a good fit at this moment in time is actually Scott Grimes. Gordon, they need to do more with him right now in order to be able to really kind of fit him in that setting, but I think they will, provided that the writing is allowed to continue and they're able to flesh out these characters even more. So the meat of the show, the whole story, if you will, sets up them delivering supplies to a science research center. But when they get there, they realize that, oh no, it's not actually a supply delivery, it's a call for help, but a deceptive call for help, because there's a new temporal device that has the ability to control and speed up time. And they're afraid that a warring alien species known as the Krill will come down and steal it. And so they needed the help of the Union in order to get this device out of there. So here is the Orville, an exploratory vessel, nowhere near equipped for mass combat, ready to get this device out of there. But unfortunately, they're double-crossed by a laboratory hand, and they bring in the Krill, and a firefight engages while they're at the science facility, and they end up escaping on the shuttle and going back to the Orville, and then using the device and basically what could be considered a huge tree bean and the temporal device to destroy the enemy vessel by growing a giant sequoia right on the bridge of it. It's a weird thing, but again, it felt very Star Trek. And then the ship's destroyed, kind of. They get it repaired and they head off again to continue their work for the Planetary Union. The show, again, it's 44 minutes long. It's well done for what it is. It has a lot of potential. Again, the only thing I don't like really is Scott Grimes' character, trying to fit him in there, and also trying to, keep the jokes coming. The jokes were a little bit forced in the trailer. There's a couple little bits here and there that I felt kind of didn't work out as well as they would have wanted them to, but ultimately it had me laughing, especially at the first scene when the blue guy came out of his eye sockets, and all the other little jokes here and there. Just the quips, the deadpan quips by Seth MacFarlane I really liked, and his bouncing off of Adrian Palacki. So this is a show that I feel has a great deal of potential. I really can't wait to see where they go with it week to week, if we're granted that. This is coming out at a bit of a contentious time due to the fact that Star Trek Discovery pops up in a couple weeks. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that show, and I do feel that the success of the Orville will very much depend on the success of Star Trek Discovery. If Discovery doesn't do very well, people might flock to the Orville for at least some kind of hour-long sci-fi drama on television. But at the same time, I could be wrong, and people might flock to the Orville as a way to just kind of have the antithesis to what that particular type of drama is going to be. Now, the first season, as far as I know, is 13 episodes long. I think we're going to get the full season at least. Hopefully enough viewers out there will like what they see, will want to see more from the Orville, and we'll get to see more about this cast, because this feels to me like a show that would have been made probably in the early 2000s, right around the time we had like Andromeda and maybe something like Farscape from the mid-90s. It feels in vein with those, while still paying a lot of serious homage and taking cues from Star Trek: The Next Generation. The fact that it's handled as a straightforward drama with comedy elements, I feel actually works better than just having a standard 30-minute Star Trek spoof. And I really am excited to see what happens next. But I do want to know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been 3 Buck Theater. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and check back often for more movie and television news from me. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day. Peace out.